for Windows, Mac, and Linux. In the comments of that video, many of you asked for me to do a tutorial. In this beginner's guide, I will show you how to set up and use OBS Studio. Once you have OBS installed, open up the... You will have several choices. I'll go over the two that are used most often, things that I use to record my screen. Now that you have OBS opened, if this is your first time using this software, the screen capture area within this window should be black. First, you will need to set up a source. So go down to the sources box, select the plus sign. You will have several choices. I'll go over the two that are used most often. If you plan to record your screen with the files saved to your computer so you can edit them later on, select Display Capture. I already have a Display Capture set up, so this one is automatically named Display Capture 2. You can rename it if you want. Make sure that Make Source Visible is checked, then select OK. Click on the Display button to select the monitor you would like to record. If you have a single monitor, you should only have one option here. If you run a multiple monitor setup, select your monitor. If you want your mouse cursor to be captured when OBS records, make sure that Capture Cursor is checked. When done, select OK. Let's go back to the Sources box and select the plus sign again. If you plan to record the video games that you play, select Game Capture. Just like before, you can change the name and make sure Make Source Visible is checked. Select OK. You can just leave everything here on the defaults and select OK again. If you want to change the source settings, select the source, then select the settings icon. Here you can change the display. To delete a source, select it, then select the minus sign. It'll ask you if you're sure you want to remove Display Capture 2. Select yes. And now it's gone. The up-down arrows change the priority of the sources. Make sure the source you currently want to use is at the top of the list. In addition to recording your display, OBS also records your desktop audio from games, websites, or any other software on your computer. It can also record the audio from your microphone. So let's head over to the mixer section. For desktop audio, click the settings icon to the right of the volume bar. Select Properties from the drop-down menu. Make sure that Default is selected, then hit OK. Just below Desktop Audio, there's a separate listing for microphone. Select the settings icon, then Properties. Here you can choose the microphone that you want to use. Once you have it selected, select OK. Let's take a quick look at the rest of the user interface. To the left of Sources is Scenes, which will allow you to use more than one source while recording. This is a little bit more advanced for a beginner's tutorial, so we'll skip over this one. To the right of the mixer is Scene Transitions. If you're not using scenes, there's no need to worry about this one. And to the right of the Scene Transitions is Controls. For doing a live stream, you would select Start Streaming. Start Recording is for a standard screen capture. Right now it says Stop Recording because I'm currently using it to record my screen. Once you become more comfortable with OBS, you may want to try out Studio Mode for live streaming. Simply, it allows you to make changes while you're streaming, like adding and resizing images and adding text. Below Studio Mode is Settings and Exit. Exit is self-explanatory. Let's go into Settings, and I will show you which ones that I use for my recordings. In each category, I'll point out a few of the key settings. First, we'll take a look at the general settings, where you have several languages that you can choose from. And you have a choice among 3 themes, which will change the way that OBS looks. I personally prefer the dark theme. If you're streaming and you want to save a copy of your live stream to your desktop, you would check Automatically Record when streaming. If your computer is not that powerful, it may be best to leave this unchecked. In the stream category, streaming services is the most common stream type. You can choose from different services, including Twitch, YouTube, and many others. For server, you can leave it on auto or manually change it to a location closer to you, which in my case would be Dallas, Texas. And the stream key section is where you'd paste the key from the service you're using. In output, we'll look at the simple mode. The streaming and recording settings here will work for most of you. If you are streaming, you may want to increase the video bitrate to 3000 or 3500. Just don't make it so high that people have difficulty streaming your broadcast. If you are recording, set the recording path where you want your files to be saved. Set the recording quality to high, recording format to MP4, and encoder to hardware. Here at the bottom you'll see a warning for MP4 listed. Just ignore it. I've never had an issue using that format with OBS. Next is audio. You shouldn't need to make
Hello and welcome back to another Technology Guru. Now, once you've downloaded OBS Studio, you're seen as well, but you need to go ahead and get the settings, configured first, and then you can start streaming within OBS. First thing you need to do, go down here where you see the Scenes tab right here and click the addition symbol. It's going to say add a scene. We're going to go ahead and call it scene 2. You can name that one. Go ahead and give it a name, and then go ahead and move this around like I'm using Photoshop. It's almost like its own. You're going to see something here that says settings. Now, if we go to settings, click on settings, stream key. If you don't know how to find your Twitch or YouTube stream key, I will have the 2 videos that I've done showing you how to find those specific stream keys in the description of this video. You've got to log into YouTube, log into Twitch, navigate to your information for your account, get the stream key, paste it here where it says stream key. Once you've done that, you need to go down, always click the apply button in the bottom right hand corner when you've made and completed all of the changes that you want to make to set up your OBS. So once I've clicked apply, I'm done. You've got it set up, you've got Twitch, you've got your stream key, it's the correct stream key here, and never show this to anybody. I mean, obvious why you wouldn't want to do that. Now, once you have all of this set up, let's go to output. Now, under output, I always change my output mode to advanced. Now, under advanced, it allows me to control a few different things. Now, not only can you stream with OBS, but you can also record. Now, I don't really prefer the recording options in OBS, but it is free, and if that's something you want to do, you can definitely record within OBS. Now, we have our streaming and recording here. We're going to go ahead and click the tab here that says streaming, and then below this, we're going to see a few different things. Now, the encoder, I leave it X24. I wouldn't change that. Again, this is more for recording purposes. And then the rescale output, you can always change this to be what you want it to be. I leave mine at 1920 by 1080 because I like to stream in 1080p. So even if you have a larger 4K monitor, you can rescale it to be 1080p, which is, changing this here. Now, if your internet connection is not that great, you may want to rescale this to be 720 or something like that. That way your stream doesn't chug or lag, or you get some things like that. Under rate control, the bit rate here, again, all of this is going to determine that, really going to be determined by the internet speeds at your house, the type of machine you have. I recommend leaving it at 2500 or 2 to 2500, 2000 to 2500 to kind of see where you're at. And then if you see your stream is struggling or it's handling it very well, then you can increase or decrease this number dependent on the type of stream that, the type of, I guess you would say, setup that you have. Now, once you've made all of the different changes here, go ahead and click apply right here at the bottom right hand corner, and then let's go over to the most important thing. I really think audio for me is one of the most important things about a stream. Now, leave your sample rate at 44.1. You want your channels to be set to stereo. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The desktop audio device. Now, mine is going to be set up as the speakers because this is how I have my setup, going in. But normally you may have this set up to default. Like if you have your computer plugged into, like your speakers plugged into your headphone jack, just leave it as default. If you leave it as default, you can never go wrong there, but you may have to come in and adjust this. The desktop audio device is going to be how your stream audience hears the audio coming from your computer. So the music that you play, the game sounds, all of this is coming from the desktop audio device. So click this drop-down menu, select the one that's appropriate for you, and then go from there. leave the one here, device 2 is disabled for now. Underneath mic and auxiliary audio device, this is your main microphone. This is this guy here. Whatever you're speaking into, whether it be your Blue Yeti, your Heil PR40, whatever it is, that's going to be here. Now, for me personally, I have an audio interface that's going into my computer. So underneath microphone, my XLR microphone is plugged in to my Scarlett 2i2 solo USB audio interface. So for me, I'm going to select my audio interface. But for you, you may, see Blue Yeti or whatever microphone you're using. If it's a USB, it will automatically come up here. You want to make sure all of that is set the way that you want it to set. Now, don't change anything else. Click apply. Now, once we're done with that, go to video. So here's the deal. Your base canvas resolution is going to be the size of your display. So for me, I have an Asus PQ27. The native resolution for that is 2560 by 1440. So it's about 2K. But I want to scale it down to be 1080p. I don't want to be streaming in 4K. What's the purpose of that? Not many people's going to be able to experience that, and I would highly recommend going down to 1080p to be the minimum or the maximum, and then if you even need to go down beyond that, 720p is okay, depending on your internet size. So again,
Hello guys, OBS software already downloaded any video, so you can resize the image